Eddie was a little peeved with something that was said. Oh, Johnny Nelson said this, or such and such said this. What Eddie was probably peeved at was Johnny Nelson saying Anthony Joshua should retire. Another thing, I had a conversation with Stanley Dubois. I don't know Stanley personally. We were at it on the phone. His actions in regards to the preparation of Daniel's fight against Usyk, I thought they were idiotic, and I stick by that no matter what. Dave Allen's back in the mix. Makhmudov he's fighting. Dave Allen, so out of his last 5 fights on paper, he's won 3, but it should have been 4 with Johnny Fisher not getting the decision against Johnny Fisher. Now he's in with Makhmudov. I know they've got big plans in potentially where will he go, what will they do with him. And Dave Allen's 33 years old. Makhmudov, he's 36. And out of his last 5 fights, he's won 3, either been knocked out or knocked them out. His knockout record is pretty good, I think. Out of his 20 wins, he's knocked 19 out. Dave Allen at 24 wins, he's knocked 19 out. So these guys are both bangers. These guys are both trying to establish a foothold in this part of their career to get in the mix, to get a big fight, get a big payday, which I understand. And it's no secret. I said in the past, a few years ago, Dave needs to consider retirement because he gets hit too hard. But then I saw some footage of him training out in Manchester, and I'm like, you know what? He looked on point, he looked fit, he looked fast, he looked powerful. I thought, aye, this might be the second coming of Dave Allen. But, those little clips, don't let looks deceive you. But I do think Dave Allen, if you sleep on him, he'll old man you and he'll knock you out. Dave Allen will, if you've just got a bit more about you, you've got a bit more movement, you've got a bit more skill, you've got a bit more something about you, Dave Allen just seems to be found wanting. But if you sleep on him and think it's going to be walk in the park, he'll turn you over. Without a doubt, and he's a tough kid. I remember when he was at the Winkerbank gym as a young man coming through, and he was sparring and with the other heavyweights, Richard Towers and Big Carl Baker, holding his own. I think I remember sparring him a couple of times, and I thought, this kid's tough. So it's inherently tough, no matter what. That's just how he is. That's just how he operates. I saw Eddie was a little peeved with something that was said, and one thing that gets me is when they're being interviewed, any or all fighters are being interviewed, the interviewers, the YouTubers, what they'll say is, oh, Johnny Nelson said this or such and such said this. So in that context, that response is going to be in reference to the context they put it in. I think what Eddie was probably peeved at was Johnny Nelson saying Anthony Joshua should retire. It's out of context. What I said was Anthony Joshua's got nothing left to prove. He's achieved everything. He's done amazing things for our... Look at it, he was on TalkSport. He's done amazing things for our sport. What more has he got to prove? I'd not like to see Anthony Joshua finish his career the way he did against Stanley Dubois. That's what I said. So it wasn't running him down because I'm a big fan of AJ, and so I get that. Another thing, I've got an apology in a wry smile sort of way. I had a conversation with Stanley Dubois this week. He phoned me a little irate. We were at it for about half an hour on the phone to each other. He's telling me, I'm telling him. I get where he's coming from. I don't know Stanley personally. And my comments about his actions in regards to the preparation of Daniel's fight against Usyk and AJ, I thought they were idiotic. And I stick by that, no matter what. I think Stanley thought I was, and it sounded as though I was personally insulting him. I was insulting a decision made. I don't know Stanley personally. We were at it on the phone. Now, like my I think it's nearly son-in-law was in the other room, and we were banging on the phone. So I think Stanley was surprised that I've got a bit of a mouth on me too, and vice versa. But after about half an hour or so, we both calmed down after a few choice words. I said, I'll tell you what, Stanley, I'll come down to London, we'll sit down and have a cup of coffee. The guy's all right. He's a father that's muddling his way through the boxing world, and unfortunately our boxing world can be brutal, it can be cruel, it can be unforgiving. And with the cheers, you've also got to take the boos. With the adulation, you've also got to take the criticism. And if you're not used to that, it's heartbreaking, you can't handle it. A lot of people struggle with it. And Stanley's no different from everybody else. And I've said before, I think he must be doing something right, because he's raised some kids that have turned out to be unbelievable fighting. He's got another one on the way. So he's doing a great job as a father. I don't know what he's doing, but it's that side of the decision making in our sport. He made a silly decision, and I think he acknowledges that. So my apologies to you, Stanley, for commenting if you thought I was talking about you personally. I don't know you personally, like you don't know me personally. We'll sit down and we'll talk about that. And but the guy's all right. It kind of calmed down. So respect and apologies where they're due. And then I hear on the grapevine about Moses Atamu turning down a fight against Frank Sanchez. Why would he do that, you ask? If this is true, why would he do it? I think sometimes it's better to lose a battle and win a war. So I just take your time. Take your time in regards to the speed of your career. So if that is true, I think it's a calculated decision. And there are other fights out there for him. Well, I spoke before about, someone like Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, everybody knows who Deontay Wilder is. His name's still valuable. His name's still got some oomph to it, regardless of what version of Deontay Wilder's out there. I think that's actually a pretty good fight for Atamu, because Wilder's not as dangerous as he was, but he's still got the name. And I think Wilder's handlers should make sure they capitalise on that. So would they want Atamu, or are they just hoping he's just got one last hurrah, one last big fight in him to say, yeah, we'll sling him in here and get a good payday? But again, that's a good fight for him. But I think they've got to be smart, they've got to be sharp, they've got to think how they direct Moses. Again, potentially a world beater, the heir apparent. I don't think twice about that.
Hi, Julian here. We love our boxing at BetGoodwin, and we're looking forward to this big heavyweight clash at the weekend. Dave Allen against a big Russian, Makhmudov. Now, there's not a lot to choose between these two in the betting. You can actually get even money, the White Rhino, with the Russian at 5-6. If you think it's going to be a draw, 16-1. But I think Dave Allen is going to bring home the bacon. He's obviously got a very dangerous opponent. He's 6'6". He's a big puncher, but his last 4 fights, 2 of them have ended in defeat. Now, I'm friends of Johnny Fisher, and I was a little bit disappointed that Dave Allen took his unbeaten record off him. But on the other side of the coin, he's such a modest man, this White Rhino, and I thought he fought incredibly. Now he's in the shape of his life, and he's looking very sharp, and I think Saturday night is going to be his big one. And Eddie Hearn has already told him, if he comes through this, he's got some big paydays ahead, possibly the likes of that lovely Deontay Wilder. How do I think this fight will go? Well, I can see Dave Allen stopping Makhmudov late on. And I reckon between rounds 10 and 12 at 16-1 at BetGoodwin, this could be the value bet. But come on, Dave Allen, the whole nation's behind you. You can do it.
You know what? I got a message from Austin Trout, former world champion, former like middleweight world champion. He's now a BKFC world champion. I think he's had 4 fights and he's picked up a title, and he's fancying getting in the ring with James DeGale. This didn't happen as professionals, could happen as BKFC fighters. I know the organisers are trying to push for that fight. I think that will be an interesting spectacle, because we never saw it with these guys as professionals. But we'll wait and see. But that's what they're working on. And they're looking to put it somewhere pretty big. So I'm hearing from the sources on the inside. And of course, if it does happen, then the big question is how many other former fighters will want to do that? How many other former fighters will want to get into something so directly, so brutally direct? I think James, what I mentioned it last week, I thought, wow, why would you do this? But the same for Austin. Austin's reached out to me, actually wants to come on the show. So maybe the next time he's in the UK, we'll get him on the show, see what he's got to say about this, and see how much he wants to push this fight. But I know it's something that the BKFC organisers truly want, and they know it will really put them on the map. I know it sounds like I'm leaning towards this, but I'm still, it's like watching some gladiatorial exhibitions of fights when these guys are really stuck in, and it's real. It's very real. So yeah, I'll push it. I'm talking about it. I'll watch it. I'm curious about it. I would never do it, ever do it. But again, that's just how we go. So I've just come back from Hamburg. I did a High Rocks competition Oh my gosh, wicked! I've been training for like 4 months for this thing and I absolutely loved it. And I'm going to put a challenge out for former fighters or that are just trying to keep the footing, get into the high ropes. A bunch of us could go, we could run the joint. I did it in 147, but I think I can do it in 130. It was really good and it was really taxing mentally as well as physically. Check it out. But anyway, I did the competition, got through, finished it, tried to style it out. I wasn't going to do a Rocky one-handed press-up thing, but I thought I might go down and not get back up again. So I did a bit of shadow boxing when I was done. Sat down, give it all that, someone handed the can towards me, and the can, you know, when you see a can, it looks really cold and ice, and you just think looks really tasty and quenches your thirst. Stupid me decided to take the can, and as I took the can, I'm like, with this camera on me, I'm drinking the can, and I can see Claire in the distance, like, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with you? Drank the can, and as I came out, I'm drinking some water. Now, if anybody knows, just go on Alexa, ask Alexa what the effect of caffeine has on Johnny Nelson, and you'll think, oh my God, is that true? It's true. So the caffeine kicked in and got the better of me in 2 places. One you don't need to know about, and 2 in the throat. So my throat started to close up. It was closing up. I'm thinking, what? I'm allergic to caffeine, but I keep forgetting sometimes. So I'm trying to drink some water. It's like water trying to get down a little funnel. I'm like hitched, tongue's going, head's going. So went round the corner, trying to get a medic to say, give me an antihistamine, because that's what I normally would have, an antihistamine if I have caffeine by accident. And so they went DEFCON 5, man. I was surrounded like the president, all of them all yellow vested up, surrounded me, sat me down, put a drip on me. I'm like, oh my God, how embarrassing. I've just done like the biggest cool ass speech going from doing a high rocks comp, and I'm like IV'd up round the corner, that is, and guys that were there, they're like looking around. I'm like, I'm cool, man, it's for television. So I'm IV'd up. They've got these things on me to check my heart rate and everything. I'm like, oh my God, the shame of it. They said, we're gonna have to take you to hospital. I said, hell no, you are not taking me to hospital. They said, you've got to come to hospital. It's a con. But anyway, you've got to come to hospital. I'm like, no, I'm not going. Somebody came round with a wheelchair. I said, you need to move that thing. I would have run away if I could pull the needle out, but I felt a bit faint. But if I could pull the needle out. Anyway, I got up, slipped out the back door. They came with me and frog marched me into the ambulance. I felt so embarrassed. Anyway, I'm in the ambulance. And as I'm in the ambulance, I can hear these sirens. So, you know, when you're in an ambulance, you actually don't realise it's really quiet there. I can hear sirens. I'm looking out thinking, it was me. Woo, woo, woo. Took me to the hospital, got to the hospital. I'm like, oh, shame. I felt so embarrassed. And the doctor sat down, he understood the situation. And I said, look, I just wanted an antihistamine, that was it. He said, well, we can keep you here for a couple of hours. And look, so he just signed it off. But trying to charge me £160 for this thing. That's why I think they overreacted. And that's why, if anybody saw me at the High Rocks comp, what's going on with Nelson, I got hustled, I got hoodwinked into going into the ambulance. Otherwise, I'd have done a runner. But anyway, I was all well, all good in the hood. That's why I'm at the High Rocks competition. So if anybody saw me, it wasn't the comp that did me. It was the caffeine. So I wish Red Bull made a caffeine-free energy drink. That's all. But it looked good. It was calling my name, Johnny, drink me. And I'm like, oh, nearly. But anyway, that was my weekend. I'm back now. This week, we are doing a recording of some amazing guests. It's Black History Month, all of October. So we can have some rather interesting guests that will tell some amazing stories. And it's not just about boxing. That's what this show's about. So even though it's called That Boxing Show, it's not just about boxing. So I guess from Thursday, we're going to record them all, get it all in there. Get involved. Please subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, we can't function. Subscribe and like as well. Enjoy the ride. That's with me. That Boxing Show, Johnny Nelson.